If we always prioritize speed and pace and change within ourselves, as well as interactions, behaviors, habits, then that might not necessarily become a reality. In other words, we might not necessarily be able to actualize that pace and speed in reality which we are seeking to achieve in one way or another. But what can actually or likely happen is that when we move too fast, basically, or prioritize speed, then we run the risk of being scapegoated by the ignorant people and unconscious mass and irresponsible herd in the modern society that just prioritize mass morality and generic behavior in one way or another. And whenever other people try to move better, faster than they are, then they criticize them in one way or another. So we can genuinely become the target or the victim of unconscious shadow projection alongside criticism, condemnation from the same people that just glorify stupidity, pride, vanity, mediocrity in their lives, that just obviously worship and practice all the bad behaviors and ways of living, trash talking, etc., and that they themselves talk about or discuss speed, change, priority, and pace in our lives. But when it comes to acknowledging and recognizing and admiring our qualities, because we have individuality, authenticity, and groundedness, they don't acknowledge anything in us, but they acknowledge everything about themselves. They just are going to admire anything and everything that they have or that they haven't. And that is a disparity of perception. That is a discrimination and division that nobody dares talking about, that just nobody mentions. But it's there, it's always real, and it's going to be there in the foreseeable future as well in one way or another. So obviously we should try to move forward or go forward only at that speed which we can catch up, that we can understand, and that speed which is in absolute accordance or harmony with our inward significance, inner capacity and internal compass and transparency, as well as obviously in line with our virtues, values, standards as well. But if we defy our standards, if we try to violate our own boundaries, then we will suffer from the humiliation, insult, or the unconscious and ignorant mass in our surroundings that may be successful, pride, vain in their lives, but ultimately they don't have individuality, authenticity, distinction of attitude, perception, action in themselves, and they know that they have insecurities, they have unresolved inward chaos that they try to project upon others in one way or another. So obviously we suffer from a lot of problems, but that does not mean we give up on ourselves. We should never part ways with our differences. We should never compromise with our originality, truthfulness, consciousness, etc., but only push forward with much more quality than ever before. So definitely that is there.